Alrighty, folks. Welcome to the live stream. I apologize. It had a last minute phone call. My wife had something to discuss with me, and I just finished that. I wanted to be on here by noon, and that didn't happen. I was on the phone for I don't even know how long. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to have a PM trading session here. It's probably going to be pretty quiet. The market has been moving pretty nicely. But as we get into the PM session, I'm guessing that we're probably going to see a lot of this right here. But that gives us still some range of 100 handles that we may be able to participate in some trades. So we're going to be getting started. We're going to start with a higher time frame analysis, analyze what's been happening, see what we have going on, and see if we can come up with any opportunities here. So how are you guys doing this afternoon? Hopefully you're doing good. Let's see here. We swept that low, and we have relatively equal highs. I like that aspect, the relatively equal highs. We've had a nice sell-off from the AM session. That puts us roughly... that is equilibrium right here. So we could see price reach up at least to the midpoint of this entire range from top to bottom right here. So I'm looking at this top to bottom range. And really the PM session is going to open here in about 5 minutes. The PM session will begin but around 1:30 to 3:30 is really when we're looking to take a trade. Let's see if we can get any trades in. So on a higher time frame perspective, we're looking at the daily. Here's where the daily is right now. So yesterday we had a decent expansion day, and this candle, the close of this candle was above the previous day's candle. So when you have a candle that closes above, typically on a higher time frame, you're going to see that as a bullish sign for a continuation. And we already filled this fair value gap here, and we closed above the daily fair value gap. So we have a daily fair value gap right here. This daily fair value gap has been closed above. You can see right there, we closed above it. That's a bullish sign. So if I'm looking at price action here from today's price action, it wouldn't surprise me if we start retracing and moving back towards the highs, or at least close inside this range from where we are right now. Hey Northern, how you doing, my friend? So I'm looking at, we've ran the previous day low here, but I don't, unless we just want to continue to sell off, and it doesn't make sense for us to continue to sell off when we have FOMC tomorrow. So FOMC is going to be tomorrow. We're probably going to stay inside of this range here, but I probably would look for the price to come up and be somewhere around yesterday's opening price. I would say somewhere around there, maybe closing even inside the daily fair value gap. Jumping to the 4 hour, we had a displacement. We had a sweep of liquidity, closed inside the range, and a sell-off. We could get that here as well. We might get a sweep of liquidity right here. This is from 10 a.m. and we only have 33 minutes left. So if this candle right here closes inside of this down close candle, this would be our reversal signature in price on the 4 hour. And during the PM session, we would look for a retracement into a 15-minute fair value gap for price to start moving in that direction. If we drop down to the hourly, we have the hourly right here. We have a sweep of liquidity at 11 a.m. We have a small expansion at 12 p.m. And 12 p.m. probably didn't give us a 5-minute entry. And we have a 5-minute entry right here. So we've already entered the 5-minute fair value gap, and we've rejected this 5-minute fair value gap. So from this 5-minute fair value gap, I'm expecting price to continue to expand higher, and we have these relatively equal highs. So dropping down to a lower time frame, let's look at this fair value gap right here, and let's see if time overlaps with for an inversion right here. We also have a breaker. So as far as context goes, I'm looking for a long now. It just makes the most sense in my mind for us to look for a long. And if we can see if this breaker has support here. We'll see if it wants to have support here. I like the idea of us moving higher. We did sweep this low right here. We did sweep that low. And we have at 119, wow, 119, we have this crazy candle that swept that low. So all of this looks bullish in my mind. We have a volume imbalance right here. I could go long right here. I think I want to attempt a long. Let's see how it plays out, right? Hang on a second. Nope, we came back down. So we're going to wait here. I'm going to pull up the screen that I'll be doing my execution on. It'll be on this screen right here. Let's see what happens if this is going to sweep this low. If it doesn't, we're going to look at where this fair value gap, if we have a fair value gap here, that might be an option as well. But at this moment, I'm interested in longs and looking for a setup that's going to deliver a long for us. A lot of back and forth price action in here. We've swept a low here. We ran a high here. Swept a low here. Did not make a high here. Did not run that high. Did not run the high low here. We swept this high. Retraced. Swept this high here. And now we're creating some low resistance liquidity sitting right here. And this is really what I'm looking for. Is can we time this run on liquidity? Can we time the run, and does the structure show or give us an opportunity to take a long inside that liquidity? That's kind of what I'm going to be looking for here. Let's see. Don't know. Do you trade ES2? I very rarely. I haven't taken a trade on ES in a while. Mostly the Nasdaq, just because I know how volatile it is and how much it moves. So that's primarily what I trade. Let's see how it reacts to this 5-minute level right here. If we go to the 5-minute time frame, you'll see that. I kind of want to just take a small long right here to see if it finds support. This is a single micro, or if we're going to sell off right here. We're at 133 right now, right in between macros. The reason I'm taking this long is from the hourly perspective right here. From the hourly perspective, I'm looking at this as a reversal signature at 11 a.m. We have an expansion candle. And inside, after this expansion candle, I'm looking for a 5-minute fair value gap between 12 and 1 o'clock for price to sweep into on the 5-minute time frame. So here is 12 o'clock exactly, 5-minute fair value gap. There's our entry. And so we're taking a long inside this level here, and I got long at 676. So we are just above that 5-minute fair value gap. So I want to see if we find support there and we can push higher above this. But it's a very small position. But because my bias is to the upside, I didn't think we were going to actually run the low. And it also rejected off of the wick of the 5-minute wick right here, which overlapped with that 5-minute fair value gap. That's my logic for this long right here. This would be about 80 points from here to the high. 80 points, yeah. It's an 80, it'll be an 80-point move if it goes. There'll be other entry points for me to add on to this position. We did sweep this liquidity here, so I could add a position if we close above this fair value gap. The 11 a.m. candle. What time frame there, Northern? Oh, the 5-minute, yeah. Well, that 5-minute fair value gap, that's what I was referring to. Yeah, the 5-minute fair value gap is exactly what I wanted to see find support. All right, so this the 136 candle did not close above it. So we'll see if this candle closes above it before we sweep these highs. If we sweep the highs before, I won't add to the position. If we stay down here, I'll add one position. If we sweep the highs, I'm going to wait for a retracement back down into here, and then I would add to my position. I mean, it's unrealistic to think we're just going to get a straight line to the previous day low. I mean, it can happen. It's unrealistic to think that, but if it does, great, I'm a part of it. But if it gives me a retracement, I might add to that position. All right, so it did close above it. It didn't sweep the high, but it did run an internal high. This candle right here, we ran that internal high. So we'll let that run and play out here. This is our last point of resistance, is this sweep of liquidity right here at the 127 candle and this inversion fair value gap. If we can close above this inversion, we have a good chance of running this low resistance liquidity and may run even higher. The only thing that's running against that idea is the timing. It's only 1:38, which we have a few minutes before the macro begins. But I think it's safe to say we can move our stop to break even. We're going to have our stop at break even right now and see if this can continue. So what I'm looking for in these down close candles is for us to come back down to this breaker. And if we can come back down to this breaker, I'll use this as a second entry right here. That's the breaker I would want to enter at. Actually, we honestly could do it at the wick high. I'd use the wick high for that. What time does the macro begin? I use the macros beginning at the 45 mark to the 15 minutes before the hour and 15 minutes after the hour. So in this case, it should begin around 145 to 215. That's where you have a higher probability of price running instead of doing this back and forth. So if you take a look at this run right here, this run right here is between 108 and 115. This run right here is between 1252 and 1258. So there's just a higher probability that you'll get a decent run in that time. Here's another. This is the exception. This is the exception, right? But it still can do that. It can still run. I really want price to come back down into this fair value gap. This is the fair value gap I want to see tagged. If we can come into this fair value gap and we can find support here, I'll add a position and try to make it my official long position. But price really could, it has some room to move higher, even if it wanted to get through this large fair value gap. 19,800 all the way up there. Possibility. If we can't find support at this breaker or fair value gap, which it looked like we had a nice reaction from, let's see if we can go down there one more time. That's the kind of reaction we want to see. That's a good sign. It's not a guarantee, but it's a good sign. All right, move both my stops to break even. Let's see if it can find support here or if it's gonna sell off. Nice breaker entry would be right here. It's just a matter of do we have reason for it to move higher? I believe we do. We have low resistance liquidity sitting above price all right here. So all these swing highs right here, to me, is what I'm running for. This is what I want to grab. The question that nobody has the answer to is that time right now. Does it want to do it now? So I'm doing it based off the entry of this 5-minute and finding support at this breaker and this fair value gap right here. Can we keep support inside this fair value gap to move higher? I really do like the fact that all of the bodies have been in the upper portion of this fair value gap. Oh, don't reach down there and stop me out. Yeah, I'm watching the bodies. These bodies so far have been respecting it. And if it can continue that respect, I'm not worried. But if it disrespects this fair value gap, I might just close the trade. It will be way less than what I would want it to be, but we got 12 seconds. See how it closes here. All right, so it did close below it or right at it. I'm just gonna leave my stop at break even and see if we can stay on the right side of this move. A lot of low resistance liquidity sitting right here. All right there. Or right here is what I'm referring to. All that's low resistance liquidity. Nice. That's what I like to see right there, folks. Nice expansion candle. Let's keep it. We don't want it to turn into a wick. That's not a good sign. We want a full-bodied candle here. Beautiful. All right, let's see if this stays. So far, so good. Breaker was respected. Fair value gap, for the most part, was respected. Running off of this 5-minute fair value gap that it reached for at 132. Let's look at the 5-minute. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so we just were dealing with that. All those down close candles created this single down close candle. So we want to see this current candle over the next 3 minutes close above this down close candle. That's very important. I really want to put in this order block right here. If we can get that order block put in, there's a chance we may run for this high as well and sweep this. That's really the ultimate target right there. If we can sweep this liquidity. And if we sweep that liquidity, if it happens to be around the macro time, there could be a potential for a push higher. Running back up through all of this right here, right? All of that price action. We don't want it to do that. This fair value gap must hold. If this fair value gap does not hold, I have to close. I mean, I could let the trade play out, but that's not in our favor if this fair value gap does not hold. This fair value gap right here. This is the candle that we need to see it close above. The next 23 seconds, or that 5-minute candle turns into a nothing burger, and that's not really what I want to see. I don't want to see a wick here on this 5-minute candle. Well, at least we got a green candle in the 1 minute. That's a good sign. Watching TradingView contracts were not updated after changing. I found that the price levels I'm referring to is exact the same you got. I did update my chart, so I'm on the MNQM. That's what you're looking at, and this is NQM as well. $15-minute chart. Okay. 1 minute chart. I really want to see us close above this fair value gap, this inversion fair value gap. I want it to disrespect this level and just close right above it very quickly. If we can close above it, there's a good chance we're running for these equal highs. And this will be a 60 handle move. 60, 70 handles almost. 67 handles. Oh, come on. Give it to me. Close above. Let's do it. I think I want to leave a contract to run if we can get there, in case it wants to do that. Oh, don't stop here. I've been trading seriously with education in mind for 2 years in April. 2 years ago, April 15th, I came across ICT's concepts, and that changed my trading journey for the better and went from gambling to actually learning to find my edge. Before that, I really didn't have an edge. And I started refining my edge for about 2 years. I'm profitable now, nowhere near where I want to be. I cover some of my bills, but I still trade with small size because I'm finding that I'm not as consistent as I want to be. I'm consistent at times, but then something takes over and I start making stupid trades at times. And I want to eliminate the stupid trades and be patient to take one or two great trades and walk away. So that's why I'm still trade small size, and I won't go higher until I can confidently say that I'm in control of my emotions. All right, this is the candle. Let's see it close. This looks like a great candle. Down close candle. If we can close above this, that would be amazing. What indicators? None. No indicators. All price action based. I put squares and lines on the chart for significant levels, key levels that I like, and I trade based off of that. Nice reaction. Look at that red to green aggressively. Didn't close above. That sucks. But nice red to green there. That tells me I'm on side. That kind of price action tells me I'm on the right side of the trade. So instead of just, getting nervous and closing the trade out because I'm green, it means be patient. Let it play out. Just sit and wait. Let the trade work itself out. It will move in my direction. So hopefully without it hitting my stop loss. That's really what we don't want it to do, is hit the stop loss. We're currently up about 47 points right now. I want it to run these highs. We barely swept that high. I don't like that. That's not good. Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do it. I'm committed for the move, folks. If it stops me out at break even, it stops me out. It's going to really suck. But we're going to let it play out. Should we get another contract while we're down here? Oh, all that hard work just being erased away. All right, we just swept that low. Let's see if it just sweeps this low and then reverses. It's not looking good. It is the day before FOMC, so crazy things can happen. What's up, Tony? We're in a long right now. We're hoping that we don't get stopped out here. We do have a fair value gap at 692. I could move my stops below that, but there's a fair value gap and a volume imbalance it could reach for at 685. I'll let it go. We're going to get stopped out. There it is. Disappointing. But I was holding for the big move. So we have a volume imbalance. We have a volume imbalance here. And we have a fair value gap right here. So I'm watching to see if it's actually if it just was running into those things. If we reverse from right there, it literally tapped me out by a tick. And if it turns around from there, I'm gonna be pissed. Pissed. Not really. I'll be annoyed. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that just the most annoying thing in the world? How could you do that to me? Oh, that's so disappointing. It better go back down. It better just crush my stop loss. I'd rather it crush my stop loss than it tick me out and run in my direction. That's no fun. No fun. But, I mean, that's what you should expect in price action like this, right? Look at that. That's what you should expect. Crappy price action, right? Breaker to the downside. $1 p.m. right now. It is, or 2 p.m. right now. Where are we going to put this 2 p.m. candle? Yeah, actually, we do have the hourly close. Let's take a look at the hourly candle. So that was we didn't run the low or the high in that hour. Let's look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour closed inside. This is still bullish in my book. I mean, not really. I shouldn't say that. Here's a breaker. This whole candle is a breaker. Honestly, it's 50-50 from right here. It could go up, it could go down. It could go down, then it could go up. But I will tell you that I want to see this 4 hour candle go inside this fair value gap, whether it goes up or down. So that's what I was trying to target, is this 4 hour candle going into this fair value gap before it may want to drop. Same with the 1 hour. I guess the 1 hour already did at 12 o'clock. But I was hoping that it'd reach back in a little deeper while I was on the trade instead of it doing it without me. If you guys are appreciating the commentary, hit the like button for me. Means a lot when you guys do. I just remembered I need to take my vitamins today. Need to take my vitamins. I haven't taken them yet. Let's check out the 30-minute. Let's see if we can get a 3-minute entry. Do we have anything? I mean, look at this, guys. Can we do anything in this? Woo! We can draw. That's about it. I really can't do anything else. Wonder if you can change. We got low resistance there, and it's beginning to become more obvious here. Low resistance there. So we could definitely run lower, but I was just hoping that we would run that low resistance liquidity, tag it, because I would have sold at least one contract there. Man, that's a bummer. Bummer. All right, so we did come deeper down into these two fair value gaps, or this the volume imbalance, and a continued sell-off from there. So this breaker looks like it's working too. That breaker played out nicely. 30 handles. Honestly, we should probably just look at a sweep of this, and if we can get a reversal off of that, that seems more probable. See that reaction? That's what I'm talking about. You sweep liquidity, you get reactions like this. As long as it's not in a position to just sell off, you can do 10 handle scalps when you turtle soup. They call it turtle souping. I'm becoming more interested in doing more turtle soups, because that's almost, it's like automatic 10 handles. But if you hold it too long, it gets erased and it burns you. In Rothable, how long have you been trading? I'm not interested in trying the same thing that I did here. Main reason is we swept liquidity here. We swept liquidity here. I don't know where the internal or external is going to be at. It could run deeper and run for this these relatively equal lows down here. I don't know. So I don't want to jump the gun yet. But I probably should have taken something off there. I mean, that was a great trade. Disappointing that you have nothing to show for it. Every once, yeah, I'm forcing myself to hold trades longer. Forcing myself, my target was these swing highs. So if we would have taken these swing highs right there and we started to sell off, I would have sold it. But we didn't. I mean, we did not run against this though either. So I could have sold, but I should have. I mean, I should have sold something. You don't let a trade go 40 handles in your direction and then get stopped out at break even. I shouldn't have let that happen. That's just the truth. I probably didn't care as much because I was doing a single, I had a single contract at first and then added a second. If I had 5 contracts, I'd be closing that sucker. So I'm trying to hold trades longer at the same time. And the reason I'm doing that on lower contracts is I'm trying to build my threshold to say I'm going to let this play out and not close it. I'm going to let this play out and not close it. Instead of short, cutting off my trades at the knees when it runs another 40, 50 handles in my direction, So there's a balance between taking profit and learning to hold your trades longer. I mean, should I have just been happy with 40 handles? Probably. 40 handles is great. I mean, you can build a business, you can build a trading career just on 10 handles. So 40 handles is phenomenal. Yeah, I don't trade with minis anymore. Too volatile, too much risk. I found my emotions taking too much of my time, and I don't like that. I want to trade with no emotions. So even though I say it sucks, it doesn't hurt that bad as it would have been if I had too many contracts. That would have hurt. We're talking, what are you talking, $2,000 that you would have lost out on. Yeah. So my goal is to scale, but I need to learn to, for me personally, just be more patient and not take dumb trades. So sitting and not taking a trade here is good for me. It's good to sit in front of the charts and not click the button. I want to click the button. I want to click it right now and expect it to go lower in my favor. But it's better for me to not click the button, to learn to sit and be patient. If I wasn't on stream, it'd be even better for me to close the charts, get up and walk away. If we close below this 5-minute fair value gap, we're probably going to lose our legs and fall over here. It's looking to be more that way. The 15-minute, we did sweep this 15-minute fair value gap right here. That little sweep of liquidity into that 15-minute range. Looking more likely for it to move lower here. And there's just an unwillingness to go higher. I mean, there's no reason why it shouldn't have ran that high if the bias was long. And that just confirms, that just tells me when I'm over here saying, yep, it tells me I'm on the right side. I literally said I'm on the right side of the trade. I'm on the right side of the trade. Nope. No, you're not, Tyler. You're not on the right side of the trade. In fact, I'm going to take all your money back that you just made. Yeah, you're done. You had a good day, Northern. Nice job, man. Give me a second, folks. I got to answer this. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was mute. I was on the phone there, JB. I said I was taking a phone call, didn't I? Maybe I didn't say a phone call. I said I have to take this, didn't I? You guys can't see my phone. It's sitting right here. I had to take a phone call. Sorry. All right, so now it's just ticking, passing time here. Nothing looks good. Nothing looks good. All right, thanks, Tony. At least somebody understood. Thank you. So we're going to sit and we're going to expose ourselves to patience. That's what we're doing right now. Don't ever take a phone call again. Yeah, so so for those that don't know, I am a realtor. So that was a realtor-based question somebody had for me. And since I'm doing it in the afternoon, I just got to make sure I'm on and near my phone. All right, did we close below the 5-minute candle? We did. We closed below the 5-minute. I could say that we could run lower. We still have these equal lows that it could run for. We have a 5-minute order block. Do we want to get in? I just don't like, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that. I don't like it. You could take a short right there, but $13.32, 132. Oh, that's a little messy. That's a little messy for me. I'd rather take this long right here if it closes above. It didn't close above. It's a little messy. That's a little messy for me. It absolutely could work, but I don't like the way it looks. It's just not, to me, it's not convincing. It's going to run completely against me, isn't it? Let's see if it holds. Close below that fair value gap is a close of the trade. Stop will be at break even as soon as we run this sweep this high. I'm hoping we run it and not sweep it. All right, sweep of liquidity right there. Let's see if we can push higher, get 20 handles out of this. Oh, shoot. I accidentally closed that trade, folks. Son of a monkey's uncle. I'm having performance issues. At least it was a win. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That would have been a beautiful trade to be a part of. These are the moments that it's really easy to go on tilt, to overtrade. I was going to move my, here, I'll show you what I was going to do. Let's just say if I put a limit order there. I was going to go like this and bring this down and hold it there. But when your mouse goes off the screen, it automatically drops it. And my mouse accidentally went off of the chart and I dropped it on accident. So it cut me out of the trade. Bummer, dude. Hey, all I have to say, though, is that's a win in my book. We chose the right direction. We got in on the manipulation lower, took the explosive move higher, and it's absolutely playing out. So, wish we could be a part of it, but the limelight is that we chose the right decision. We chose the right trade. And that's what I want to become better at, is choosing when to take the trade. This looked clean. We ran lower. It aggressively started moving higher. We took the entry, and it tried to scare us for a minute, didn't it? For 2 minutes, it tried to scare us, but or at least just for 1 minute, basically 1 minute, and then it just exploded. I mean, right here. That how much so far in 3 minutes? 35 handles. Beautiful. So even though we're not going to see it in the P&L, we're going to see it in my heart. No, it's a confidence builder for sure. It helps you establish when you're making the right trade. So this is something I'd want to journal or take note of or talk about, is I chose, out of all of these moves, I took 2 trades. We got long here, and it went higher. And then it swept all these lows. It refused to run these equal lows. Refused to run those. And then it started moving aggressively the other way. We have our entry as an inversion. And pop. Gives us 35 handles just like that. Now, Tony, if I was looking for breakers, this one looks the most interesting to me. I have a hard time believing it's going to want to come back down there, but, I've seen some crazy stuff, being long for 40 handles and then it come back and stopping me out. So, that's a possibility. I don't like this inversion to the upside right here for 2 reasons. This inversion right here is following a swing high, a small swing high right here. And then we have this as a superior fair value gap. So I would rather take this long instead of this one. But if we are in fact going to move higher, you can take this one and hope that it doesn't retrace. I like that it put an order block in here, so that's nice. But I'm going to pass on that one. Why did you decide on futures versus Forex or stocks? Great question. Stocks, too slow. Forex, too risky. Futures, just right. Forex, it just seemed too far out there for me to get into. Stocks, I just have already experienced it. Annoying. You had to have a lot of capital. I then went from stocks to options. I did options because of the leverage, but I hated the degradation of time. It's been so long, I almost forget it. What do you call it when you have a contract and it expires? And come on, somebody tell me what it is. I believe Forex might be restricted for all U.S. retail traders. Decay. Thank you, Northern. Or don't know. 443. Yeah, if you're not in the States, you can't do that, but you can do what's called, I think it's the US 30. I think that's what ICT would trade if you weren't in the States. Forex is not a bad one. I mean, you can do currencies. Currencies is not bad either. Or Forex, all the same concepts that I trade with on the futures can be used and applied in Forex. And the other reason I chose, so it had no time decay, and then the tax benefits were way better. Manipulation leg right here. I want to see if we can get an inversion to this fair value gap, an aggressive, that might be worth taking along. Any re-entry interest near breaker? Yeah, if it got down to there, that wouldn't have been a bad idea. But many times when it wants to go someplace, it won't reach the breaker, but it will reach the fair value gap that the breaker is in. And this is why I chose this breaker. I like that it was right in the middle of this fair value gap. Oh, wait, there's our entry. I think I'm going to take a long right here. Let's see if it gives it to us. have to move my stop to break even. We made equal highs there. So if it stops me out, it's the rules. I hope it doesn't, but it looks like it is. So stop me out. That's the rules. It's the rules. Because it could just sweep this high and run the other direction. So got stopped out. No trade. Break even trade there. Technically, it didn't sweep it, but it came really close to it. Let's see if it saved us or if it took it away our opportunity. There'll be another opportunity. If it closes above this fair value gap, that's another opportunity. I want this to prove to you guys that there's a reason why we move our stop to break even. So you can look right here. Did we actually run this high? The answer is no. We didn't run this high. Did we make almost equal highs? Yes. So when we come close to it and we start rejecting it, I'm moving my stop to break even. And this is the reason why. Look what it's doing. The inversion model is great for scalping and it can give you quick moves. But if it's not actually going to run in your direction, it will stop you out real quick. So if it really was just looking to sweep this high or create equal highs, you could be stopped out and it could come back there, after it runs the low. But I don't want to hold this. It just failed. This whole fair value gap just failed. It just closed below it. So we went from almost getting a 10 handle win. Well, how many points is that? Yeah, 10 handles. A 10 handle win to being down 15 handles. I don't want to mess with that. So it's just part of my rules. When we get close to a swing high, if we take it, I move my stop to break even. If we make equal highs, I move my stop to break even. If we come up just to it and we reject it and we start moving away, I move my stop to break even. As European, I still choose futures since it's regulated with fixed spreads. Northern, 100%. That's what I hear too. If you want to take your entry, there's a breaker entry right there. It's giving a decent reaction to it. It gave, what did it give? It hasn't given a big enough reaction. Nice breaker right there. I'm not going to take this. I'm going to wait for a close above this. That's really what I'm looking for. When there is more consolidation, there are POIs both sides of, it runs liquidity. It's just running liquidity back and forth. 100%. What's up, Cyrus? How you doing? All right, I'm second guessing a close above this. I've seen this too many times where it'll close right above it when we stick around in here, and then it just like sells off. So I'll probably wait for this one. I want to know that we're going to get outside of this. All right, so it's going to close above here. Let's see what happens. I didn't want to take it. I'm not taking it because I feel like it's just going to retrace down into this fair value gap down here. Watching for the close above here. It's a tricky situation because we have swing highs here that it could just explode through it and run all of these in one candle. I'm watching to see how it reacts to this fair value gap. We've reached down into it. There's nothing else here. We've basically mitigated all the fair value gaps in this area. I'm probably premature in this, but we're going to see what happens. I'll close this if we close below this fair value gap. That's kind of what I'm watching. This inversion. I got in it while we were in here. I didn't take it up here. I waited for the retracement down in here. We'll see if it gives it... see how it plays out here. Come on. Let's just give a big run. I mean, look at all that low resistance liquidity. It's going to want to run that. And I'm just hoping it's right now. Still closed inside that fair value gap. Still holding. This could just sell off right here too. Yeah. All right. One win, one loss, couple break evens. Probably call it a day. I expected it to be not the best today, since considering we have FOMC tomorrow. Yeah, there's nothing going on here. Except for the back and forth. So if you really want to be profitable, short when we sweep a high, go long when we sweep a low. Do you think we go back up or we go down? What do you guys think? What's the call? Do we go higher? Do we go lower? Look at the aggression on that candle now. Oh man, it needs to go. This looks good. But that's where we make mistakes, is we think it needs to go, and guess what it doesn't do? It doesn't go. Just got to be careful. Because it's still inside this range. It can literally do whatever it wants. There's almost like no rules. No rules. Did we make equal highs or did we sweep it? Looks like we made equal highs. It just can't go. Can it? Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have my screen up. I'm not in anything here. Just sitting here watching. Other than structures which are static in nature, there is a dynamic dimension, which is volume and order flow, which directs the price action. I think it's an algorithm. I think it's an algorithm that's designed to manipulate price to help people feel confident about getting in and then slapping them in their face. All right, so are we going to close above here? Am I going to take this? Oh, do not do that to me. Do not. You gotta be kidding me. What do I mean? To me, that's algorithmic. That right there. You can call it volume, but above all of this was liquidity. And guess what it does in a flash? No, not all the fair value gaps. I color coordinated. Anything gray is 5 and under. Anything blue is 5. Anything pink is 15. Anything dark blue is an hourly. I'm irritated. I wanted that. And it took it away in a second. That's called, Jack, that was called the algorithm saying, hey guys, I think there's enough liquidity sitting above this. Let's just grab it all before anybody has a chance to take it off. Bam! Really fast. Just slap it. That's what I think just happened. It's algorithm. It's not. It's algorithms. It's designed to do this kind of crap. You can have manual input, but I mean, do you think it's a coincidence that it makes here's a high, lower high, equal high, lower high, lower high, and then it runs it all really fast? They want everybody to think that there's support here. It's a trend line. And then there's the break of the trend line. So now we're going to go higher. I just want to figure out how I can get in on it without risking too much. Yeah, algorithms. I mean, I don't know if it's not robots. I don't know what you call it. It's just an algorithm in the market that's been coded to do this kind of price action. It's designed, in my opinion, it's designed to move price in a certain way to create liquidity, to get people to think that there's support here, so everybody goes short, and then they run it to grab all their positions. All right, I'm going to see if it wants to go a little bit higher here. At least make a higher high. Right there. If we can get the higher high, I can move my stop to break even. If it doesn't make a higher high, then I'm exiting the trade. We haven't filled the first presented fair value gap. I wasn't on this morning. All right, I'm going to let it stop me out. I'm not going to take that. Folks, I think I'm going to call it a day here. I'm not liking price action. It's not fun. We had a decent trade. I don't want to overtrade. I want to honor my strategies and not just take random things. Every trade that I would say I've taken besides that last one was me looking for the exact trade, and I'd say it worked out pretty well. Got in a good long, didn't take anything from it. Got in another long, had a performance issue. What did we take? We took another inversion. We took an inversion somewhere. We took an inversion here, got stopped out, or took an inversion here, got stopped out, protected us. So overall, decent trading. It's just crappy price action. So you can't let crappy price action tell you if you're a good trader or not. So we're going to call it a day. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. We'll be back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Excuse me, 9:15 a.m. So check it out. Come hang out if you want. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. God bless. Stay safe. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take care.